Hi YouTube, welcome back to Wtf Rc Cars. So we've got a new receiver. This is one of the twin antenna ones, flight receivers, but you can use it for ground vehicles. And this is the FTr12b. So I'll bring in for a close-up look and we'll have a look what sort of radios this is going to work with for you. Right, so first off we'll have a look what we get in box. A couple of sets of stickers, the BVD cable, then you get the FTr12b dual antenna. You've got a bind button. It'll do 3.5 to 9 volt, and it'll output PWM. Believe it will also do S bus and I bus and PPM. So your first 9 channels are all down here. Then you got 10, 11, and 12 at the top, and then like all the enhanced, you've got 4 ports, so it'll be channel 9, 10, 11 and 12 that you can reassign to iBus, iBus 2 or whatever else you want for sensors and everything. So let's get a battery to power this up, and we'll get a transmitter and see what it'll bind to. So first off, we're going to start by powering it up. All the bottom row's negative, second row up is positive, and then your signal is on the end. It does give you the pin out on the actual receiver itself. So press and hold the bind button, power it up, get it into bind mode. If we can bind it to a Paladin 18, should be pretty straightforward this. So transmit, yes. Then we'll select a model, we'll just create a new one, and then you can go to setup, you can go to name. So we'll just name this FTr12b. And I'll leave it on a plane because it don't really matter what we bind it to. I just want to see if it'll work. And then I believe it's basic menu. RF settings, you have to make sure you're using the transmission module that you've got in. So we'll leave all that as stock. Then RX settings, checkers custom ports. So we should be able to go into bind, and we'll put it, because these are for the classic receivers, this is one of the enhanced, so it's only 12 channels, so we'll stick with that. Start channel is going to be 1, so we'll tell it to bind, and basically it's telling you it doesn't support binding to the classic receivers on this mode.
Binding. Bind successful.
So it has managed to bind to it fine. So we've got 4 channels assigned. So let's grab a servo. Seems like sacrilege plugging a Traxxas servo in, but we'll just stick that in. Yep, so that's what we've got bound to channel 1. So that does work fine. If I put it on that, you'll be able to see. So yeah, it binds to it. I've no doubt we can assign all 12 channels because this can work up to 18. It's in 12 channel mode at the moment. So it does work with the PL18 straight out box. But let's see if it'll work with an NB4 or a Noble Pro. So this is the NB4 running 20101. So let's find an empty channel if I've got one on here that I haven't been messing around with. That'll do. So we've got this channel number definition. We've got a maximum of 8. So let's quickly name this. Harder than it looks looking across the camera. So we've got it as 12B. So if we back out of that, go into RX menu, bind set, got it set on enhanced. So back to the receiver, if we press and hold the bind and then just supply power to it and then tell it to bind.
Binding successful.
So we can bind to it. On this, you'd have channels 1 to 8 that are assignable, but 9, 10, 11 and 12 would all be configurable as iBus 2 or any other sensor that you want to plug into it. So let's see what we've got. Currently we've got servo connected to channel 1, which is working fine. Let's have a look, see if I can remember where these are. So if we wanted to change one of the external sensors to be iBus 2, it should be that one. Yep. Just trying to look which way around the ports are labelled on here. So we've got A, B, C, and then 9 is D. But it does mean you've got 8 ports that you can use on the NB4 for channels. Then you've got a separate one you could use as power out, and then you've got 4 extra ones that you can use for iBus 2. So still a very good receiver to use on the NB4. Dual antenna, so you should get better distance with it. But let's see if this will now work with the Pro as well. Right, so moving on to the Noble Pro. Let's see if I can find a blank model memory. So we'll jump into that. Channel number definition, we can set all the way up to 12. Remember to do that before you name your channel. So channel number definition is 12. We've got as model, we can rename it. So FTr12b, and then if we come out of that and go into bind, interface protocols, we'll set that on A to iBus because we've got the GPS device connected in that, and then it wants to be enhanced, start channel steering, and then start the bind. Then if we press and hold the button and then plug it in, so we've got it fully bound as channels are working as expected, and this time you can use all 12 as channels if you like, or you can flick around and change some to be iBus. So if we go into display sensors, we're already seen as GPS because I set the new port A to be iBus 2, and that's fully working. So quite an interesting little receiver, but let's wrap this one up. So there you have it, Flysky's FGr8b, or FTr12b should I say, and it'll work with the NB4, the Noble Pro, and the Paladin 18. Obviously on the Paladin and the Pro you've got all 12 channels, but it's still really useful now the iBus 2 sensors are out for the likes of the NB4. Being able to bind to this, you can use full 8 channels, but then you've also got 4 extra ports for assigning to iBus 2 sensors and stuff like that. So definitely useful. It does come with the battery voltage detection cable, and that's got its own port, so you don't lose a port to use that. But yeah, quite an interesting little receiver. 3.5 to 9 volt. Dual antennas, so you should get better signal with it, and especially on the likes of the Paladin 18 you'll get greater distance with it. But thanks again for watching Wtf Rc Cars. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, share to friends and family. I'll catch you guys again in the next one.